If a turtle doesn't have a shell, is it homeless or naked? And why do we say we caught a cold when it caught us? We have the engineering precision to achieve powered flight on the surface of Mars, yet back on Earth, we still can't reliably fix a drive-through ice cream machine. These are the paradoxes that flood your brain the second your head hits the pillow. But here is the biggest one. With all our massive modern cranes, deep-sea submersibles, and a century of progress, why haven't we pulled the Titanic out of the ocean yet? Welcome to Midnight Questions. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future explorations into the thoughts that keep the world awake. In 1911, the RMS Titanic was a modern marvel. Look at the scale of the ship here compared to the workers below. It was a steel fortress, widely considered to be unsinkable. When it struck an iceberg on April 14, 1912, and took over 1,500 lives to the bottom of the North Atlantic, the global reaction was an immediate, desperate desire to hook cables to the wreck and pull it back to the surface. Funding for a recovery was never an issue. Many of the victims were among the wealthiest people in the world, and their families had more than enough capital to finance the most expensive operation imaginable. Early engineering pitches were wild. One plan involved lowering electromagnets to latch onto the hull. Another suggested pumping liquid nitrogen into the wreck, freezing it into a giant ice cube to float to the surface. But even with deep pockets and a surplus of imagination, the recovery effort stalled. For the first 70 years, no one actually knew where the Titanic was resting. As the ship sank 2.5 miles down, deep ocean currents pushed it miles away from its last known coordinates. The North Atlantic is vast, and finding a needle in that dark haystack required a search window the world didn't have. When World War I broke out, the mystery had to be put on hold as global maritime efforts shifted toward the war. World War II further delayed the search, as the world's resources were once again poured into conflict rather than exploration. For 7 decades, humanity was too busy tearing itself apart on the surface to look for a ghost ship in the deep. On September 1, 1985, an American-French expedition led by Dr. Robert Ballard finally located the wreck, sitting 12,500 feet deep in pitch blackness. But the cameras revealed a heartbreaking truth. The ship didn't reach the bottom in one piece. It violently tore in half before hitting the ocean floor. The bow and stern landed nearly half a mile apart, surrounded by a massive debris field. The childhood fantasy of pulling up a perfectly preserved ship died the moment those first underwater cameras turned on. This led to a logical follow-up. Even if the ship is broken, why not attach cables and bring up just one half of the hull? 70 years of exposure to high-pressure saltwater have severely degraded the atomic structure of the hull's iron. The ship is also being actively digested by the ocean itself. Scientists discovered a massive swarm of microorganisms that specifically consume iron. This specific deep-sea bacteria, named Halomonas titanica, turns the once mighty hull into brittle rusticles that crumble into dust at the slightest touch. This creates an impossible paradox. The immense weight of the water and the decayed state of the metal means the very act of lifting the ship would cause it to instantly shatter. Within the next few decades, the entire structure will collapse under its own weight, leaving nothing but a rust stain on the ocean floor. Private companies have managed to recover small, personal artifacts, like silverware, watches, and paper tickets, that have been frozen in time since the night of the sinking. However, the main structure is now permanently protected as a UNESCO Underwater Cultural Heritage Site. We cannot save the Titanic from the ocean. Our only option for preserving its memory is to surrender it to the deep. What is the weirdest question that has ever popped into your head in the middle of the night? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.